roll.
It's like WWE Ride Along.
It is
only on the WWE Network.
It definitely is like WWE Ride Along, except we don't have to bleep anything out.
No.
And we will edit stuff. No need for bleeping. We can talk openly about whatever we want, and we do.
Yeah, and we can bury whoever we want if we choose to, but Roman's mainly the one being buried lately.
In all seriousness,
But not really by our choice, but by
not really by our choice at all, because on this show, like we've talked about before, Big Man, we're not into burying anybody.
No.
We're just into having fun, and right now WWE is taking the distinct pleasure of both having fun and burying Roman Reigns at the same time. Because why not?
And Seth Rollins is probably the victor in all this. Well, and Dean Ambrose, I guess. Getting many good segments.
Definitely. Both men in the ring last night on Raw looking extremely confident on the microphone. I had to admit, seeing the two of them trading barbs verbally, I don't think Roman Reigns can compete against those two in that arena.
Absolutely not. Like, I felt this way for so long, but like, yeah, like, he just sounds like he's reading cue cards. Just, I'm not a good guy, I'm not a bad guy, I'm the guy.
More or less, yeah.
And you better believe I'm gonna beat your ass and take the title. You can believe that.
Yep.
Ooh, and then he like spears and Superman punches everybody because he's strong and Samoan.
Absolutely, he's got a really hard head.
Yeah.
Much like Mark Hunt, and we don't usually talk about UFC on the show,
No.
but Mark Hunt, my goodness, what a colossally strong head he has to withstand 3 rounds of punches from the Beast incarnate.
I know. I don't think I could even stand one from the Beast incarnate.
Maybe 1.
Well, yeah, maybe 1.
But not 50.
Yeah. Maybe not 2, because 2 would be... Oh.
No. If they put me in there with Lesnar, they'd be cleaning me out with a shovel.
Yeah. Buried?
Yeah, well...
literally?
Yeah. Me putting Lesnar over would not really enhance Lesnar very much.
No. That would just kind of be like, my God, stop the match.
But I would work really hard.
Yeah.
I would try my best. I wouldn't try to shoot a hold or try to take a takedown on Lesnar. I would just try to box with him, maybe, potentially, but possibly that lucky star could fall and get a lucky punch on him.
Yeah.
And then if I were to beat Lesnar, I guarantee that much like the Beast, I would use that opportunity to stop racism.
Well, it would be like most of Brock Lesnar's matches. It would be like mostly them getting their ass beat, and other than that, hope spots. Just like, will they beat Brock Lesnar? Oh my God, he hit him like twice. Will he beat Brock Lesnar? Nope, he's getting thrown around the ring.
Yeah, no, that is exactly what Brock Lesnar matches are all about. Aside from Undertaker ones.
Yeah,
but the one he had with Kofi, Seth, and Dean most recently, they're all exactly like that. And Dean had almost no hope spots, and now here he is holding the strap, the top guy in the industry.
I'm just thinking ahead to SummerSlam, Brock Lesnar versus Randy Orton, and I'm like, because Brock Lesnar is coming out of a UFC victory, and Randy Orton, the last time we saw him, he got choked out by Braun Strowman and just totally murdered.
Yep.
So
yeah, the comparison here is that
are they just gonna like, hey, he's just really powerful all of a sudden? Just like
Randy?
Kayfabe adjustment.
How could they? It seems impossible. Randy feels like a sacrificial lamb. You talk about a comparison. Lesnar coming off a really dominant UFC win over a top 10 heavyweight contender, and Randy's coming off of months of rehab.
Yeah, I know.
Like, they couldn't be in 2 more different places in their life.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, are they really just gonna like... Because like, if it's just gonna be him, like Brock Lesnar just killing Randy Orton, then I feel like that wouldn't really build much hype in advance, sort of thing. So
I don't think so, no.
So I feel like they'd have to pretty much build Randy Orton up. So maybe, maybe he'll have a series of enhancement matches before he fights Brock Lesnar and Cesaro can job to him. Like,
But I was just going to say, and that what that does is it just diminishes the people that he jobs on his route
exactly.
to Lesnar, and then he himself jobs.
Exactly.
Which begs the question: is there anyone in pro wrestling that legitimate? And I'm talking about let's go all across the board, the entire world of pro wrestling. Is there anybody that is a legitimate kayfabe threat to the Beast?
Legitimate kayfabe threat to the Beast. Scott Steiner.
You got a really good point there. With that, also from Minnesota. No, he's from Michigan. He's from Michigan.
Yeah.
My bad. But yeah, Scott Steiner with that really strong wrestling pedigree, extremely strong. I mean,
and he's got the armor, the chainmail.
That's right.
Can protect him from the fangs of the Beast.
And the flames, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Scott Steiner is a really good choice. My personal choice for somebody who could legitimately threaten Brock Lesnar. I mean, the one really memorable takeaway from that episode of TN Impact that we watched, which contained Final Deletion, which we'll get to in a moment. From that particular episode, the one thing that really stuck out to me was Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, you're right.
He cut a really strong promo. Obviously, he looks extremely intimidating.
He's so jacked.
Yeah, and
insanely.
And his wrestling is really good, in all seriousness, just as good as Lesnar's.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know if I would love to see an MMA fight between him and Lesnar. That'd be fantastic, don't you think?
Yes, that would be amazing.
It would. But my point is, Bobby Lashley of today could, I think, be a legitimate competition for Brock Lesnar in the ring.
Also, another answer that I forgot before I gave my answer is
Excellent point. Now that we saw last night on Raw, Vince McMahon having chosen the people that he wants to be the commissioners of both SmackDown and Raw, his kids, Stephanie and Shane, he then decreed that next week on Raw, the final Raw before the brand split, he was going to be announcing, or excuse me, Stephanie and Shane themselves were going to be announcing, or he would do it for them, the respective managers of Raw. And my first reaction was, why not Kurt Angle for SmackDown?
Yeah, I know. There's no better choice. Because, like, then he can still be, very heavily involved, and he doesn't have to be involved in the ring all the time, so he could still work some matches.
Yeah, he could, definitely. And just being there, we know Kurt is extremely confident on the microphone, very funny guy.
He's funny, but he can also be really serious and intense.
Absolutely. No, yeah, Kurt is undoubtedly, despite the fact that he's taking very limited bookings, he's going to retire very soon. Kurt Angle is still one of the best wrestlers.
The Olympic hero?
Well, he's always going to be the Olympic hero. No one could ever take that away from him. Kurt Angle is one of those people that makes me, at times, I don't want to say wish I were American, but really appreciate what it's like to be an American.
Oh yeah, brother.
I wonder how you feel about that, dude.
I don't know, Michael. I mean, Kurt Angle's okay, I guess. Ankle locks? I don't know. I mean, they're okay.
Speaking of ankle locks, your boys and mine.
Yeah.
American Alpha. Thank you. Last week on NXT, looking really strong as always, but unable to defeat Dash and Dawson in their bid to regain those NXT tag titles. I think Dash and Dawson are locked to remain tag champions for a while now.
Yeah, I think you're correct in that assessment.
If I can make one more assessment, this is very bold, but I want you to tell me your opinion.
Yeah.
I think AOP is now going to be built up by every other tag team to eventually take the titles off of Dash and Dawson after like a year.
Yep, I agree.
Okay.
I agree with that. And like I thought it was really, I mean, it's usual Revival stuff, but I thought it was smart overall how they worked the leg the whole match and then finished it off with that leg lock.
Oh, it definitely was. And that finish on the apron, the shatter machine.
Yeah.
Like you said, it seemed like it hurt Dash Wilder more than it hurt Chad Gable, but the result was 1, 2, 3 Revival hanging on to the tag titles. And this week on NXT, talk about a hype, Nakamura and Balor. It's going to be a classic.
I know. that they're gonna see each other in bed.
In the dream.
Where is their match?
At Full Sail.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
On NXT TV.
Oh my god. That's gonna be a classic. Like, that's gonna rival Nakamura.
Sami Zayn
and Botchamania.
That's not a botch.
It's a botch. But yeah, it's gonna rival Nakamura versus Zayn, I think. If not surpass it.
I think that's a lock. Yeah, both of those guys having.
But they know that.
Yeah, well, they've met before in New Japan Pro Wrestling, but that notwithstanding, they're two of the best wrestlers in the world as well, much like Kurt Angle. But when you talk about the best wrestlers in the world, I think that is part of WWE's motivation in creating the Cruiserweight Classic, an event which is going to be broadcast exclusively on the WWE Network all throughout the summer.
$9.95.
You're right. It's a tournament comprised of wrestlers from all over the world, and the only factor that contributes to your entrance in this tournament is you have to be under 205 pounds.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty light. Like, I could eat like a burger and I'd be unable to make that weight.
Well, I mean, if you were trying to make weight, you would have no problem.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, if you were, like honestly, if you're just trying a tiny bit, no problem. Or actually, now that I think about it, if you were pro wrestling, you'd probably be heavier. So maybe you would be cruiserweight.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because like I've been putting on more muscle and I'm like, what? Oh, getting a little wrestling rambly here, but
if the camera rambles off the dash, it's no problem. We have more cameras.
Yeah.
The show is all about wrestling and rambling, and this is a show where we do our best to give you as much wrestling content as possible. And tonight, thanks to the slippery dash, we're getting a little bit more rambling than we had anticipated.
A little bit more slidey as well.
Just a tiny bit. Oh, when I said rambling, I meant the camera rambling on the dash.
Yeah.
But of the competitors in the Classic, which one stood out to you? We saw Daniel Bryan and Mauro Ranallo introduce us to a great number of them recently.
Mm-hmm. I can't help it, but I think the gentleman, Jack Gallagher, stuck out most to me.
Really?
Yeah, but that's just because I love vaudevillains, and he's pretty much vaudevillains with Zack Sabre Jr. put together.
Yeah, more or less. That's a good way to describe it. You think
I mean, from what I've seen of him, that's my assessment so far.
You think he's gonna win?
Do I think he's gonna win? I don't think so, because like, I don't really know enough about any of the Cruiserweight competitors other than watching the bracketology.
Right.
So I can't really predict, winners at the moment. Although I am hyped for the Bollywood boys.
Absolutely, representing British Columbia.
Oh my god.
So happy for them.
The brothers.
When they were
brothers of destruction.
Yeah. When they were talking about how proud their families are going to be that they're finally made to WWE, I mean, that was really touching. And so were the other stories that we heard. Many of the superstars that were chronicled in the bracketology special had extremely moving and memorable stories.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, judging from the sounds of those, emotional stories, it seems like they're gonna really pull out all the stops at this Cruiserweight Classic, so I'm really looking forward to it.
There's no reason why they shouldn't. This is the revival of Cruiserweight wrestling. Mm-hmm. Just like they've revived or are partway through reviving women's wrestling, Cruiserweight wrestling deserves the same treatment, and that's what it's getting. And with this Cruiserweight Classic that we're seeing this summer, there's no reason why WWE can't do other special classics. Like, they couldn't have like a ladies classic next year or a tag team classic, like whatever.
Big O's Classic. Super heavyweight. I need it.
I'm trying to discredit that, but that's a really good idea. So, if the Cruiserweight Classic is 205, does that mean the super heavyweights have to be over 305?
Yes.
Okay, no problem.
I think so.
Is Matanza over 305? I think it's like I think Matanza is about 290.
Maybe he could put on a little weight.
Yeah, and
you could just like, I don't know, have a bag of Oreos or something and be like, all right, I'm good to go.
Bunch of 300-pound guys that are just like putting on extra weight to be more. Oh my goodness, this is a really good idea. I like where we're going with this. All right, let's start booking some matches for the Super Heavyweight Classic.
Oh my god. Alright. Well, I mean, Mil Muertes versus Undertaker. How could you not?
Free.
Yeah.
Absolutely free. Okay, if we're gonna do it in a year, Matanza versus either one of AOP.
Yep. That's a done deal.
Yeah, they could book an angle around it. Like, can you picture it? Like, Paul Ellering is basically like training both of them, and they're doing really, really well. And there's like Matanza, I was like, either one of my boys can handle you.
Mm-hmm.
And then whichever one comes down, he's got the mask as well, and he takes it off. That'd be fantastic.
Holy shit. Yeah, they need to book that, because that would be really good.
Sure would. Who are some other big? I think Cage would have no problem putting on a couple pounds.
Oh my god. There are so many matchups that I want to see Cage in, just because.
Cage and Lesnar, Cage
he
and
constantly blows my mind.
Cage and Strowman.
Yeah. Cage and Biggie.
Oh, now you're talking. Those are like the two most muscle-bound guys in wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
They're so muscular. Terribly muscular. That's terrible.
Biggie and Big Cats. The WWE main roster has so many horses.
Strowman.
They could easily put
Mark
on
Henry.
a heavyweight tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. Mark Henry could be like in the Tajiri spot.
Yeah.
They're putting the Brian Kendrick spot, like a guy who's looking for a second. Gallows.
Oh.
They can show him in straight edge society. He was like, that particular gimmick just didn't work.
No. Neither did the fake Kane.
That's gotta be so gratifying for Kane, for a guy who started his career as he was fake Razor Ramon, right? Or
Yeah.
Or was
Yeah.
he fake Diesel? He's one or the other.
No, I think he was fake Diesel.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for a guy who started as a fake version of someone else, he became over enough that eventually there's a fake version of him.
So good.
I know. Now, will there be a fake version of fake Kane someday?
So wait, will there be a fake Luke Gallows? Oh my
goodness,
god.
That is so... You know, all Carl Anderson has to do to be fake Luke Gallows for Halloween?
Get some platform-like shoes to
Yep.
raise his height.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Or him and AJ could be like a two-person man where he rides on AJ's shoulders. And they wear like a big coat, like the Luke Gallows coat.
Yeah.
And he just walks around with AJ's arms, and like Carl Anderson's arms are in there. And he's like, we're gonna walk on.
Nope.
And then they're gonna beat up John Cena.
Yeah.
Later that night.
They're gonna form a Bullet Club Megazord and beat up John Cena.
I'm gonna meet the two of you down at the buffet. We're gonna pay, and then we're gonna meet down at the car, and then at the off ramp, John Cena's gonna meet up with us, and we're gonna beat him up.
Yeah.
That
Gonna take him down by the side of the highway and beat him up. Beat up John Cena.
it's a long tour. There's lots of time to beat up John.
I don't know though. I gotta attend to my chip.
You got a chip?
Yeah, I got a little bit of a chip.
I thought you checked your shoulder before you gone to the court.
No.
No?
No.
You actually got a chip?
It's still there.
Should we wrap things up?
I'm emotionally attached.
Should we?
I can't part with it. I can't bear to part with it.
Should we take it home? Is the chip bothering you?
No, I think I like it right where it is, because I'm not the biggest guy. But I got a chip.
Oh boy. Okay. Hi, Dave Meltzer.
Hi, AJ Styles. Styles clutch onto the apron.
Is there any? My personal favorite from the Cruiserweight Classic got back. I think we booked that Heavyweight Classic perfectly.
Yeah.
My favorite Cruiserweight from the people that we saw. Man, I can't help but think that it's got to be the kid from Japan, Kota Ibushi.
Yeah, you're right.
They made him look extremely tough.
Yeah, they did.
I wouldn't be at all surprised if he becomes a WWE superstar.
I don't know though, like, there could be upsets.
There could be.
Who knows at this point? I have hope for this Cruiserweight Classic that the booking isn't going to be super predictable. But I mean, I guess that's partly up to the booking and partly up to, you know, how the superstars actually, like, you know, play out the match in the ring.
Mm-hmm. You're right there.
The storytelling.
Just talking about the story, remind me, and there's one other point. Aside from the, oh yeah, of course, I reminded myself. WWE is sometimes guilty of, I don't want to say copying, but taking creative liberties with
taking creative liberties
with the intellectual property of other sources. Not us, of course.
No.
I mean, they just do what we tell them to do.
Yeah.
They don't copy us. That's different.
They just watch the show and they loosely, you know,
appropriate the ideas.
Yeah, yeah. It's like when you take like a whole paragraph of something and you copy paste it and just like switch all the words out and rearrange them and everything.
Yep, exactly. I'm a Marine with 300 confirmed kills.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got it.
Exactly.
But yes, talking about creative liberty, WWE was recently guilty of it when they borrowed the idea we saw most recently on TNA Impact, an idea that we talked about on last week's show, Matt and Jeff Hardy's final deletion, which I honestly thought was absolutely tremendous and we need more of in wrestling.
It was. A lot of jump cuts. It was like,
right?
Like at first I was like, whoa, like, okay, jump cuts. But at the same time I was like, there is a good portion of the match that's just like, okay, I'm like getting up and like setting them up into the thing and then like, and I was like it, not saying that either or is better or worse, but it was a different pace and I liked it.
You're right about that. We also saw the Hardy boys wrestle from sunset to sunrise.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily want that to become the norm where we have overnight matches from now on. Or maybe, I don't know, I don't care. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean,
if the boys are willing to put their bodies through the effort, I mean, I don't want them doing anything.
Yeah, I mean, if they're making $1 million moves, then they can do whatever they want.
Yeah, exactly.
They can throw their bodies off of giant cages. I mean, I would if I was making $1 million moves.
Absolutely. And we saw the Mac throwing his body off of a giant cage this past week on Lucha Underground, and when he did that, everything fortunately turned out okay, because unlike the conclusion of Ultima Lucha Uno, in Ultima Lucha Dos, this time Mac walked away the victor.
Yep, but in the Boyle Heights bar fight match that was happening after the Mac's initial match with Cage, it was Son of Havoc versus Tejano, the blue collar brawler.
That's right.
And Tejano put Son of Havoc over pretty strong.
Really strong. Very strong.
Taking that huge bump on a bunch of beer glasses and wine bottles. Which,
oh my goodness, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
The wine bottles?
That was...
Holy smokes. Fake or not, that looked really
like,
good.
I remember him just in the end being like, oh,
my back.
And I don't blame him.
No.
Tejano, I hope your back feels better.
Yeah, for sure, man.
But Son of Havoc again went over in the next match against the Mac.
He did.
Only to get bopped.
By Dr. Wagner Jr.
I did not see that coming.
Neither did
I also didn't see Son of Havoc going over so hard coming either, but I guess it made sense when, you know, we figured out the circumstances.
Good job, Dario. And
overall, tremendous matches.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
10 out of 10.
I was just gonna say, I mean, unless there's something else you wanted to talk about, I think those matches are the perfect place to end tonight's show.
Yeah, I think so.
What we have to look forward to next week in wrestling is, well, the beginning of an action-packed summer. Of course, we have the brand split. We got upcoming SummerSlam.
This is our last Tuesday film.
That's right. This is our last Tuesday shoot, and this is the last week before the brand split. And a little bit later on this summer, we're gonna watch CM Punk obviously pummel the crap out of whoever he's gonna fight, right?
Or maybe get bopped. Oh shit! Green light.
Yeah, just submitted to that green light. And that's all the time we have tonight for Wrestling Ramble. As always, if you have anything you want to talk to us about, you know how to get in touch with us. But for now,
oh yeah,
we need to go and get our Shawn Michaels on, get in the gym, and flex the further. Thanks once again for joining us.